the 10 most electrified countries in Africa. How common are power outages in your country? Can you boast of a week without power outages in your neighborhood? If so, your country has made the list of the top 10 countries with high electricity accessibility. If you're not sure, stick with us until the end to figure it out for yourself. One of the most significant developmental challenges that many African countries must overcome is unreliable access to electricity. According to Wood Mackenzie Limited, sub-Saharan African countries will require up to $350 billion in investment between now and 2030 to significantly improve electricity generation and distribution. This problem, however, does not affect all African countries. In fact, some countries, particularly in North Africa, have made tremendous strides in bringing electricity to their people. South Africa and Gabon are two other African countries that have shown promise. According to the World Bank, electricity access is defined as the percentage of people in a given country who have consistent and stable access to electricity. Energy access data is derived from a variety of sources, including industries and household surveys. With over 600 million Africans without access to electricity, governments across the continent have prioritized power sector investment and development to kickstart socioeconomic growth and industrialization. We'll look at the 10 most electrified African countries in today's video. As we travel across Africa, please like and subscribe to our channel. Also, please leave a comment so that we can hear your thoughts. 10. Senegal, 70.4% access. Senegal, officially the Republic of Senegal, is a country in West Africa. Senegal is bordered by Mauritania to the north, Mali to the east, Guinea to the southeast, and Guinea-Bissau to the southwest. Senegal generates the majority of its electricity through a combination of solar, wind, biomass, and natural gas. The West African country is aiming for universal access to electricity by 2025, with an estimated national electricity access rate of 70.4%, further broken down as 47.4% in rural areas and 95.2% in urban areas, thanks to new gas-to-power developments and renewable investments. 9. Kenya, 71.4% access. Kenya has the highest national electricity access rate in East Africa, with 71.4%, including 62.7% in rural areas and 94% in urban areas. Kenya's energy mix includes hydropower, geothermal energy, wind power, solar power, and biomass. Kenya is a regional leader in renewable energy, with renewable resources providing the majority of its electricity. The East African country plans to increase access to electricity, with rural electrification being a top priority. 8. Botswana, 72% access. Botswana, a landlocked southern African country, relies on coal and petroleum imports from South Africa and other regional neighbors to generate the majority of its electricity. The country has an urban electricity access rate of 90.7% and a rural access rate of 26.4%, bringing the national rate to 72%. The country is focusing on its abundant wind and solar resources to achieve national targets of 100% electricity access by 2030. 7. South Africa, 84.4% access. South Africa is a country on the southernmost tip of the African continent with several distinct ecosystems. Kruger National Park, an inland safari destination, has big game. The Western Cape offers beaches, lush winelands around Stellenbosch and Paarl, craggy cliffs at the Cape of Good Hope, forest and lagoons along the Garden Route, and the city of Cape Town beneath flat-topped Table Mountain. South Africa currently generates the majority of its electricity from coal, and 84.4% of the country's population has access to electricity with rural areas accounting for 75.3% and urban areas accounting for 88.8%. To reduce reliance on coal and improve access, the country is pursuing energy diversification by increasing investment and development in renewable energy. South Africa aims to reduce coal use to less than 60% by 2030, while increasing renewables to 25%. 6. Ghana, 85.9% access. Because of higher export prices and strong domestic demand, Ghana's economy is expected to remain relatively strong in the medium term. Growth of 5.5% is expected in 2022, with an average of 5.3% over the next 5 years. Ghana's electricity mix is dominated by hydropower energy, thermal energy, and gas. The country currently has a national electricity access rate of 85.9%, with 74% access in rural areas and 94% access in urban areas. Because it has significant natural gas reserves, as well as a variety of renewable resources, the West African country has a good chance of better balancing its electricity generation sources. 5. Gabon, 91.6% access. Gabon is an upper-middle-income country. It is Africa's 5th largest oil producer and has experienced strong economic growth over the last decade as a result of its oil and manganese production. Over the last 5 years, the oil sector has accounted for 80% of exports, 45% of GDP, and 60% of fiscal revenue. Meanwhile, Gabon has 91.6% access to electricity. Electricity is available to 27.8% of the rural population and 98.6% of the urban population. Gabon's emergent policy seeks to implement a sustainable energy mix comprised of biomass, natural gas, and hydropower in order to reduce reliance on fossil fuels and improve rural access to electricity. 4. Algeria, 99.8% access. Algeria also has 13 hydropower plants, making hydropower the country's third largest energy source after natural gas and oil. Algeria's hydropower plants are mostly concentrated in the country's north, where rainfall is plentiful. Algeria is one of Africa's most electrified countries, with a national electricity access rate of 99.8%. 99.6% in rural areas and 99.9% in cities. Natural gas accounts for 96% of installed capacity in the country, with the remaining 4% coming from a combination of oil, solar, hydropower, and wind. 3. Tunisia, 100% access. Tunisia currently has a total installed capacity of 5,653 megawatts (MW) in 25 power plants, with a 2020 capacity of 19,709 gigaton-hours. STEG, the state power utility, owns and operates 91.7% of the country's installed power production capacity and generates 82% of the electricity. Tunisia has complete national electricity access for both rural and urban areas, allowing it to meet all of its domestic consumption needs. The majority of its electricity is generated by natural gas, and the country is on track for long-term investment in renewable energy, with a target of 30% renewables by 2023. 2. Morocco, 100% access. Morocco is one of the most electrified countries in Africa, with total national electricity access for both rural and urban populations. Morocco, which borders the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea, is a high-potential renewable energy market, particularly in solar. Significant progress is being made to increase the share of renewables in the energy mix to 52% for wind and solar by 2030. 1. Egypt, 100% electricity access. Egypt, which borders the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea, has achieved national electricity access for all citizens, both rural and urban. Egypt's electricity is primarily generated by hydropower and thermal power plants, and the country is emerging as a renewable energy leader. Plans are currently being developed to export excess electricity via interconnections to Europe, the Middle East, and Sub-Saharan Africa. Working toward the UN's Sustainable Development Goal 7 of universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern electricity services, significant progress has been made and continues to be made to electrify Africa, with several countries emerging as frontrunners. These are the African countries with the most electricity access. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Africa Reloaded for more educational content if you enjoyed this video.